My name is Katherine Mitchell. I'm a PhD student in the art history department. This summer, I did my BUCH internship at the Boston Athenaeum, working with the director of education there. The focus of my internship was to develop a syllabus for the Athenaeum's annual educator workshop. The workshop is intended to support educators at a variety of levels and types of institutions in developing lesson plans and activities that use or teach primary sources. While I work with primary sources frequently in my own academic coursework and research, I had not thought extensively about how to translate these sources for students at all levels before this internship. I worked to select objects from the Boston Athenaeum's collections that relate to the theme of next year's workshop, Abolition and the Underground Railroad, and designed modules around them that teach critical thinking and close-looking skills. In the midst of another wave of racial justice protests and calls for inclusive public art, my supervisor also supported me in developing a civics-oriented session to discuss monuments in the immediate area of the Athenaeum, around the State House, on Boston Common and the ComAv Mall, and in the Public Garden that have connections to abolition and anti-slavery movements in Boston. At the close of my internship, I attended and helped to lead the Athenaeum's 2020 Educator Workshop on women's suffrage, which was designed and spearheaded by the 2019 BUCH intern. Over 3 days of virtual sessions, I interacted with nearly a dozen educators who work at a variety of instructional levels across a wide range of institutions. The virtual format allowed educators from across New England to attend. We discussed ongoing projects, successes, challenges, and the way that each of us were planning to leverage digital resources and rethink our classroom activities moving into the fall in a remote or hybrid format. I've been lucky enough to use the resources I discovered and creative lesson planning I heard about during the workshop in my own classroom as a BU teaching fellow this fall. I was also able to be involved with other ongoing education projects, including one to gather items in the Athenaeum's collection that match the Massachusetts State Curriculum Guides for Teaching Social Studies. Along with my supervisor and an Athenaeum curatorial fellow, I facilitated a virtual group visit for high school students in which we did a visual thinking strategies exercise using portrait photographs of Black Boston-based abolitionists from the 1850s that are part of a set of photographic albums owned by the Athenaeum. My day-to-day work was largely independent, which gave me the opportunity to develop my project management skills, and I was included in regular team and all-staff meetings at which I learned about initiatives across the building, the ways that the Athenaeum is adapting to our pandemic world, and was immersed in the behind-the-scenes work of this unique institution. I felt welcomed by other staff members at every turn. My supervisor made a point of introducing me to colleagues whose work overlapped with my project so that I could meet one-on-one to hear more about their work and career paths and build connections which I know will serve me well as I continue through my own art history career. Meeting with museum professionals, some of whom come from similar academic backgrounds to mine, was an excellent way to learn more about careers outside the academy. My internship was entirely remote, so my supervisor and I worked together to navigate the challenges of virtual work and build a working relationship and mentorship entirely online. This provided opportunities for creativity and innovative collaboration with each other and other local institutions. We were able to interact through email and chat and set up weekly check-ins to discuss my project and the ins and outs of the Athenaeum's educational work more generally. While I was not on site at 10.5 Beacon Street nor able to access physical collections, I was able to interact with the Athenaeum's rich archive of visual and print culture, historic documents, and rare books through their digital collections. Working remotely led to many conversations about digital pedagogy as we plan to host educators and support them in creating lesson plans that are adaptable to a variety of classroom formats. The most interesting part of my internship was getting to think collaboratively about creative digital research and teaching practices. I had the opportunity to meet with professionals from several other Boston area institutions who were excited to share their work, career paths, and the ways that they and their organizations have been adapting to digital formats in the pandemic, as well as responding to the ongoing racial inequities in the United States and the Black Lives Matter protests that have occurred across the country. This showed me what it can look like for institutions who work in the same communities to see their work as deeply interconnected and collaborate to promote each other's projects. It was exciting to hear each of these individuals find connections between my project creating a workshop syllabus and initiatives, exhibitions, and programs that already exist in their work. I would like to thank the Boston University Center for the Humanities, the Office of the Associate Provost for Graduate Affairs, and the Boston Athenaeum for this opportunity.